I'm going to replay the video so you guys, for those of you who were here and remember it, you'll remember the discussion. And then I want to share an email that he just sent today with his success on this. So I'm going to pull up that video. And I apologize, the quality is not that great. I worked on it quite a bit today to try and chop out just a small section of it and then reprocess a video that I could play. So the quality didn't come across as good, but at least it should be good enough for our purposes here. Okay, let's get moving on. I got one more. This question here is going to be a little bit lengthier, so I actually put part of it on the excuse me, on the overhead here for us. Let me move this. Well, I don't think there's too much down there. Okay, here. Move this down a little bit. I'll move it down when we get down there. Okay, so this is another investor. I'll leave his name, and I tried to get all the information out of here that was out of the email that was critical. But he sent in the question, and he wanted to talk about it, and I asked him if we could share it on the call tonight. This is a great one for everyone. Now, this investor, and I'll use his first name, is Dave. He is a seasoned real estate investor. He's been doing the buy and hold, doing a lot of subject twos, lease option, that kind of stuff for several years now. So he is an experienced investor, but he's just now getting into the rehab aspect of it. And so he just picked up his first rehab, and he wanted an opinion on and opinion as to whether he goofed up or not. He's saying, and yes, I'll be gentle on you, Dave, because based on the numbers here, you didn't screw up. But there are a few things that are very interesting in this email that we want to cover. First of all, the details. It's a 2-bed, 2-bath, Rambler, built in 58, 1,800 total finished square feet. Previous owners owned it for the last 18 years, and they've done some updates such as the roof, siding, appliances, and mechanicals. So all the major items, it sounds like, are already done just in the last couple of years, and that's great. Comps out at about 149, fully remodeled with egress window for a 3rd bedroom. And Dave's thinking he can sell it for 119 as is. Now he goes on to say our resale point with $8,000 in work would be 129. So he's saying if I did just some minimal stuff, he figures he can do about 8,000 of it. That bumped the price up to 129 based on the scope of work. So he wants to know, do I try and sell it as is, or do I work for the higher price, but and then possibly would end up being in wash? And then it goes on. Our buy price is $79 based on the R of the 149, and that's 65% minus repairs. So that's the Mayo formula. So for those of you who do not know that, let me see if I can do that pen thing. I know we have that ability on here. I just never use it. Let me grab this pen marker here. I think I can do this. Okay, let me try this. See if I can make this work. No, it's not coming over. There we go. Okay, so this right here is the Mayo formula. It's ARV times 65% minus repairs. Actually, it's ARV times 65% minus repairs. And that's Mayo. See if I can do the writing on the screen here. Mayo. And that stands for maximum allowable offer. I got to figure out how to get it back. There we go. All right, so that Mayo, maximum allowable offer, and those are his numbers right there. So he's saying they're borrowing 15%, 5 points for a max of 6 months. So he's using a hard money lender. No prepayment penalty with new, more conservative numbers, selling at 129. So okay, what he did here is he originally ran his numbers at the 149, but now that he's rerun the numbers after he's looked into it, and this is where I tell you guys all the time, make sure and double check your numbers before you close on a property. And from the sounds of it, he hasn't closed on it yet. He's just rerun the numbers here. But if he did, that's if he did $8,000 worth of repairs. Projected profit is about $25,000. Now up here earlier, he'd said, well, what if I just sold it for the 119? Because he's pretty sure he can sell it at 119 as is. My opinion, Dave, is sell it as is right now. That's the way I would try to do it. Because if you're going to put any work into it at all, you need to do the full 15. I think you said $15,000 was your original, original estimate of 15,000. And now he's looking at just backing it down to half of that. Problem is, if you just do half of it, you're gonna do a rehab, and now you're gonna have to get the 129 out of it, or you're gonna end up losing money. Right now, if you can pick it up for the 79 and try and sell it for the 119, maybe you get a lowball offer that comes in at 99. Well, you still make $20,000 less your closing costs. Closing costs on both sides might end up running you, with other expenses, maybe another $5,000. So you might make $15,000 rather than 20. I would try and wholesale it off the way, as is, without doing any of the work. And that's right now, especially because the first-time homebuyer's tax credit is set to expire at the end of April. So I would try and do that, and I'd probably work it for a couple weeks, and if you don't get any buyers, and maybe you find some buyers and they're saying, you know what, it needs too much work, then go say, okay, well, if we did the work, would you pay $130 for it? And if they say yes, then get them on a contract and go get the work done. So have a contractor lined up, ready to go to do the work. Just, don't, and tell the contractor, this is what we're trying to do. If the property sells, we're not going to fix it, but I'll have you work on, I'll do my next project. But get that bid so that, and let the contractor know that this is what's going on in case you don't get a buyer and you need to do that, or if you do find a buyer and the buyer wants you to do the work, then go ahead and do that. So that was the conversation that we had 2 weeks ago on the training with David's scenario. And based on our suggestions that night, Dave went ahead and, well, actually, I'm going to put up his email. I'm going to put it up here on the screen and let you guys, well, I'll read it to you, but I think I got it right here. Yep. This is the email I received from Dave this morning, actually. It says, hello, Mike. Just wanted to give you an update on my question from 2 weeks ago about the over-under repairing. Well, against my better judgment, I took your advice. I did nothing to the property except clean and stage it, and then listed it for sale at a lower price point. I purchased it last Monday, so I actually closed on it on last Monday. Listed it on Thursday, and then started allowing showings on Saturday. We have 5 offers so far with the highest and best deadline of 5 p.m. tonight, meaning because they had multiple offers, they gave a deadline, and they went back to everyone that had an offer and said, bring us your highest and best. We're looking at all multiple offers, and we're going to make a decision at 5 o'clock Monday night, which is tonight. The highest so far is $13K over list. Obviously, this isn't sold yet, but damn, I guess I should learn to trust you more often. Thanks for the advice, Dave. Okay, well, thanks, Dave, for the comment. I love how you put the email. And just as we were playing that video when I was reading this, David is actually on the call tonight, and he had just sent over a comment. Said, hey, Mike, just finished highest and best, 7 offers total. So now this, I'm reading this live, but Dave just sent this over to me just a moment ago on the question from tonight's webinar. Best was 9K over list. In comments, in brackets, he said the 13K over pulled out because they couldn't get a pre-approval letter. Still pretty awesome. And now he's also adding that the list, he listed at the 119 like we talked about last week, or 2 weeks ago. And so the offer he just accepted only a few minutes ago is $128,000. His projected profit, he's estimating at $27,000 after you take out all the closing costs and expenses, is what I'm assuming he's projected in there. So with that, Dave, I want to congratulate you. Everyone else, just give Dave a round of applause. I know he can't hear you. The only one that can hear me is me, but I know everyone's rooting for you. I'm actually looking for those kind of stories. That is one of the main reasons why I do this. I love it when I hear these success stories, because all too often, I've been working with investors for several years, and I don't hear about their successes until 6 months or a year later. So sometimes I get this little discouraged, it's like, what am I doing for this stuff for? And I know it's working for everyone. I know they're getting benefit out of it. They just don't let me know the results. So I appreciate you letting me know that, Dave. And I've actually getting several people here chiming in saying, way to go, Dave.